step into the elevator. It creaks. The music hums quietly, almost too quietly, but listen closely. Something's breathing beneath the tune. A hum in your chest. A whisper in the wires. Not all elevator rides go up. Some take you somewhere you can't return from. This is the story of Track 8 and the man who turned elevators into his stage. Before we descend, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment if this gave you chills. It helps more than you know. Now, let's ride. It started small, unassuming. 3 victims, 3 locations, 3 cassette tapes, nearly identical, tucked deep into the panel wiring of elevators in 3 separate hotels. No fingerprints, no clues, just sound. First was Ellen Carver, 29, art student from Cincinnati, visiting the city for a week-long exhibit. Stayed at the Regency Hotel in June. She vanished sometime after midnight, without a single trace. The only thing left behind? Her sketchbook. It sat open on the bed. Its pages were smudged with charcoal. Most drawings were ordinary, street views, subway riders, expressive hands. But the last page stopped us. A face stared back. Sharp cheekbones. Wide, staring eyes. It was haunting. We didn't recognize the man. Neither did her friends, professors, or family. But something about that unfinished sketch felt personal. Like she drew him as she saw him. Like he was standing right in front of her. Then Martin Poole, 54, traveling salesman for over 20 years, disappeared in August while staying at the Bellevue Hotel. His suitcase was untouched. Room service tray was half-eaten. But he was gone. Inside his suitcase, investigators found photo. A golden retriever, ears flopped sideways, tongue hanging. The edges of the photo were worn from being handled. It was folded neatly between 2 dress shirts. There was also a cassette player. No tape inside, just silence. Third was a woman we only know as Vale. No ID, no credit card on file. She checked in under the name A. Vale. Security footage showed her enter elevator 7 at the Halstead Grand. She pressed floor 7. Doors closed. 37 seconds passed. Then the elevator reopened. Empty. No sign of her exiting. No camera footage of her anywhere else in the hotel. She simply vanished. All 3 victims had something in common. They all rode elevators on the 7th floor. All were alone. All vanished within the same time frame. And all were connected by the same eerie, vintage-sounding elevator music. The same melody playing faintly in the background. We combed through the maintenance logs for all 3 hotels. One name appeared in each: Lucas Harmon. He wasn't staff. He was a contractor, specialized in piano tuning, worked odd jobs on the side, including minor elevator repairs. In his mid-30s, no criminal record. But 6 hotels had terminated his contracts within a year. The reason? Unauthorized modifications. Elevator systems were found rerouted, sound systems tampered with. One hotel manager claimed Harmon installed his own testing equipment, but couldn't elaborate. It was enough to raise flags, but not enough for charges. He vanished, too, but not without a trail. His last known address was just a P.O. box. Inside, unpaid bills, advertisements, and one item of interest, a manila envelope, no return address. Inside was a cassette tape labeled Midnight Ascent. The label listed the composer as L. Harmon. It wasn't just elevator music. It was a soundtrack, his own, a twisted kind of art installation, or maybe a performance. We sent the tape to the lab. They didn't just hear music. They found a tone beneath the surface, 17 hertz, below the range of human hearing, but not below the range of feeling. The kind of frequency that presses down on your chest, tightens your lungs, induces panic. We spoke to a bellhop at the Grand who took elevator 7 a day before Vale vanished. He remembered it clearly. I felt like my ribs were shrinking, like my heart was trying to climb up my throat. At the time, he shrugged it off. Stress, maybe lack of sleep, but now we think it was deliberate. We dug into Harmon's past. He was a music prodigy, accepted into Juilliard at 19, but dropped out after his first year. He wrote symphonies, chamber pieces, minimalist scores. But no one listened. No one signed him. His journals were unsettling. Handwriting that became more erratic over time. Repeated phrases. Rambling entries. One page in red ink read. They laughed when I played for her. Said it was elevator filler. She left, humming a song. Now they'll all listen. Trapped in my symphony. It was never about the music. It was about control. He didn't want listeners. He wanted an audience. One that couldn't walk away. He wired the hum into the elevator systems. It triggered a silent sequence. 17 seconds of lockdown. Sealed doors. No alarm. No movement. Just you and his sound. We discovered a second cassette, hidden in the lining of a battered toolbox he left behind in a shuttered maintenance closet. Labeled, Test Run. This wasn't his first try. It was his blueprint. Each note mapped. Each moment measured. A musical cage. He wrote in another note, Mr. Otis, your doors close too fast. Mr. Otis, as in Alicia Otis, inventor of the modern elevator, Harmon had slowed the doors intentionally, not to help guests, but to let fear set in, to force you to hear every second, every note. We went deeper, literally, into the grand sub-basement, a tangle of pipes, metal walkways, and buzzing control panels. The air was thick, metallic. Old elevator shafts converged there, unused, forgotten. Behind one panel, we found it, his signature, a photo of Elevator 7's circuit board, written in red ink, my stage. We searched his last known apartment. Downtown, the door was unlocked, the air stale. Curtains drawn. Inside, dozens of cassette tapes, each labeled, track 1 through track 7, each associated with a hotel, each representing a victim we believe. The walls were plastered with sheet music, some torn, some burned, others soaked in something that smelled faintly like old wine or blood. We found a metronome ticking slowly. No one had touched it in weeks, but it ticked on. We went back to Ellen's sketchbook. Looked at that unfinished face again, the smudge lines around the eyes, the way the charcoal curled at the edge, like her hand was ripped away. She saw something, or someone. We had our suspicions. Now we had proof. Then we got the call. Sheraton Hotel. Another malfunction. Elevator 5 had stopped between floors. Housekeeping noticed a maid hadn't returned from break. We rushed there. Pried opened the elevator doors. Inside, Lucas Harmon. He was crouched, screwdriver in one hand, cassette in the other. He looked up, smiled faintly. Then he said it. Finally, an audience that can't walk out on me. He didn't resist arrest, didn't even flinch, just kept humming that same tune, Midnight Ascent. He's locked up now. High security mental facility. No access to audio devices. But his music, still out there. 12 hotels still run his old audio systems. Management claims there's no budget to replace them, so the tapes stay. Last week, Regency called again. A guest reported hearing something new, a whisper beneath the music, not just tones, words, one phrase, track 8. They said it was just speaker feedback, static, but we checked, no rewiring. No technician had been in that control room since Harmon, so I keep the last tape, track 7. It sits on my desk. Sometimes, late at night, I stare at it. I haven't played it again, but I swear, some nights, I hear it, a hum, low, constant, behind the fridge, behind the walls, like something crawling through the wires, searching, waiting. The final page of Harmon's journal said, every symphony needs an encore. He called it track 8. But what if it's not just music? What if it's a door, a passage, an invitation? So next time you step into an elevator, don't just hum along. Listen, truly listen. Feel the hum in your chest, the shift in air, the silence between notes. It might not be silence at all. It might be the overture to something else. You might be the soloist, the finale. If you made it to the end, you're one of the few. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want more stories like this. Got chills? Tell us in the comments. Have you ever heard music where there shouldn't be any? Stay safe, stay curious, and watch what you ride.